This link is my website, just in case.
Okay, thanks.
Maybe that's better.
All right. Okay, YouTube is actually happening. I'm very happy to know that. We are with Marylynn Gillaspie, and we're going to, while I'm cutting and pasting, we're going to listen to Rare Silk, which she was a founder of.
Very early, Rare Silk.
Okay. Nice intro. Yeah. 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 Damn,
Woo!
that was so good.
That just cracks me up. The air mass specialist, such a runaway train, it just keeps speeding up and speeding up. Like, how fast can we go? Oh my God. That's very early Rare Silk when Todd had joined the group and before we did any recording. So,
That was great. Well, we have a lot to talk about. Um,
okay.
Hi, everybody. Here, Mark and Joyce and Daryl. And Daryl Winsman wants to know, where was this recorded? Where was that? Where was that?
Yeah, Greeley, Colorado, UNC, University of Northern California, Greeley,
Yeah. Hi,
the Jazz
Taylor.
Festival.
Yeah. Well, I let's see. So that was the when was the group formed?
1978 through
Okay.
80. Hmm
So
1978, it was Gail, myself, so Gail's my sister, myself and Gail and Marguerite Gineman. We were together for a couple of years. We toured with Benny Goodman. Um,
really cool.
oh yeah, he took us to the Oryx Jazz Festival in Japan. He took us to Carnegie Hall, the Hollywood Bowl. Um, it was incredible. It was about a 10-month off and on tour. And then after about 10 months, he wanted us to kind of stick to this very old-timey sound. I mean, at the time, we were very Boswell sisters, Andrews sisters kind of vibe with the flowers in our hair and the vintage clothing. And it was very cute. It was wonderful, and it was a great place to start, but we wanted to expand and become a more modern sound. And so we parted ways. And Todd Buffa joined the band in 1980. Um, and that concert is probably maybe a year later, if that. So,
I was just trying to remember when I mean, trying to remember when I knew about you was like, yeah,
a
looking
long
for
time
a
ago.
pin in a haystack. But that makes sense because I had moved to LA. I had gone to Berkeley 72 to 75. Moved to LA, well, San Francisco and LA. And then I was here by 1976, and I was always a singer. So, and Rare Silk was, I mean, I know that we are kind of a tribe, we singers,
Oh yeah.
jazz singers, and we hear about each other, and not necessarily the world knows about each other yet, but Rare Silk, I think, wasn't Rare Silk kind of pretty well known at some point?
Yes.
Yeah,
We were nominated. Our first album, New Weave, which we recorded in '83,
yeah.
was it just went it flew to the top. The radio stations just went crazy. They're like, who are these people, and where did they come from? Because New Weave was very beautifully produced album, and we had some top players on it, the Brecker brothers, Bruce Foreman,
Hmm.
um, and our band. I mean, we had a great band. Eric Gunnison, I don't know if you know who he is,
Yeah.
piano player. So, and other guys who I'm not mentioning all the names, but um, that when that record came out, it was kind of a shock to people, I think, because they just didn't know who we were. We had no name at all, and it was nominated for 2 Grammys. So
So
we went
no
to the Grammy.
wonder. Yeah, that was so cool, man. I mean,
Let's
you
go to
guys
the
sounded
Grammys.
great. Sounded
Yeah.
wonderful, really great. Yeah, sounded, it was beautiful. The arrangement's great, the in-tuneness, just your blend, everything. It sounded so good. No wonder you guys got so famous.
Well, yeah, we rehearsed a lot.
I can imagine.
And even what you heard on that's pretty early on
Yeah.
in terms of our harmonic structures. Because once we started getting ready to record New Weave, the harmonies became much more intricate, even than what we just heard. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Red Clay, Lush Life, Spain, the harmonies are very intricate. So,
We'll have to hear a little bit of that today. Um,
yeah, I didn't cue that up for you. I should have.
your sister's not a twin, right?
Nope, year and a half.
Oh, okay. Not much,
Yep.
not much difference. Yeah, you guys look a lot
Almost
alike.
10. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've been told that.
I'm sure. More than once.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, so obviously you and your sister sang growing up, right?
Well, not a lot. We were very enmeshed in listening to music, just because growing up, my dad was a trumpet player. Not, he didn't go out doing gigs. He wasn't a professional player, but
Mhm.
he played in the army, and he just loved music. So our upbringing had a lot of Ella and Frank and big band stuff playing just in the house. And then when I was 19, I fell in with these kind of older crowd, and all they listened to was standard straight ahead jazz.
Uh,
I mean, if I tried to turn the radio dial to the rock station with the Doors and Rolling Stones or whoever, they would immediately go, "Ring," and it'd be on an LA jazz station. Can't remember the call letters on that. Um, and it was just the heavy stuff, Train of Miles and Ornette
yeah,
Coleman, Russon, Roland Kirk, and some Lambert Hendricks and Ross thrown into that mix.
yeah,
So I was just kind of getting a dose of music that I didn't know where it was going to take me at the time.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, I wasn't really singing until a couple of years before Rare Silk. A little, not a
Yeah.
lot, but a little bit. Yeah.
Wow,
Oh, yeah.
interesting.
hmm There's no explanation.
Wow, that's very unusual. Did you say you grew up in LA or no?
I did. Yeah.
Mm. Oh,
San Fernando Valley.
really? That's where
Yep.
I live.
I'm a Valley girl.
Wow. What city?
San Fernando Silmar.
Okay. Pretty
Yep.
close to me. I'm in Granada Hills.
You're in Granada Hills. Unbelievable. We're
Yeah.
like sisters.
What can I say?
Yeah. I lived in Venice Beach for a while. I lived even in Hollywood for a short while. I worked at the telephone company as an operator. I'm
I
going to date myself here
I had a
a
job as an
lot.
operator. You know where I worked
You
as an
did?
operator? Wally's
Where?
Music City.
Oh.
And
Oh,
they
okay.
had the plugs.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Switchboard.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
I was a long distance operator
Oh,
at Ma Bell, the phone company.
wow.
And I worked actually in Santa Monica for quite a while. And I do have kind of a fun story about that.
Go for it. Why not?
A little claim to fame.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
were,
I plug in, you get the headset on and you plug in and you say operator. You know how when you used to the
yes,
operator to make a
operator.
long distance call
Yeah.
and they plug in and they go operator. And so I do that. And on the other end is this person saying, "Oh, I'd like to make a person-to-person collect call to Phil Spector." And I go, "Oh." And I'm not cute. I'm not even clear. I have no clue what's going on yet. And then I go, "Okay, well, from whom? John Lennon." And-
Oh
Yes,
my God.
yes. And I'm so clueless. I go, let John who? And he starts spelling it, Len. And I'm like, oh. So I just have to be like super cool. And we had this little short conversation. And yeah, so that's my little thrill of being a telephone operator.
Wow.
Mhm. Mhm.
That is impressive, I have to say.
I know, it's crazy. I shouldn't tell that.
I love that story.
We're going back some years here, so.
No, I love it. My friend Leslie Zerla, who's in Bakersfield, and she's a really good singer. She owned a club before. Anyway, great musicians. I still play New Weave and American Eyes. Thank you. Stay outrageous.
Yay! Thank you.
So, where are you now?
I am in Louisville, Colorado, which is between Denver and Boulder.
Okay.
So I lived in Boulder for 16 years, and that was all the Rare Silk time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then after Rare Silk split up, things changed, and I moved to Denver. I lived there for 20 years, and I went to photography school to become a
Oh,
photographer.
yeah, that's right. You
Yeah.
have a whole big,
A whole other career. Yeah.
yeah.
And so I did that, raised a family, and I did not sing for 25 years, literally.
Get out of here.
I am, it's crazy. I didn't think I would either. I mean, people used to say, oh, kind of after my divorce, and I was with friends, and they would say, "Oh, Marylynn, you should sing again." And I literally would say, "It's not going to happen." I was I had a block. There was just something going on emotionally, psychologically. I just couldn't take that step yet. And so I really thought I wasn't going to sing again. I mean, I actually believed that.
Did you miss
So,
it?
well, then I just started, it was kind of that post-divorce thing where you're going, huh, well, life could be different now. Maybe I should check this out. And so I just started making little baby steps. I would sing with a few friends here and there, and then I started sitting in with people. And then I'd go, oh, huh, I actually can sing. Maybe I should keep going here. Yeah,
Wow.
I like to tell people that story because, a lot of times you think you're not going to do something.
Yeah.
Like you're convinced,
Yeah.
no, never do that, whatever. And I was, but the truth is, you got to just give that little opening, and maybe something will happen. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that was about 12 years ago that I got back into singing, something like that, and just started performing and made a self-produced CD. Um, then I decided more recently that I really wanted to do a more professional CD, so, or album, if you will. So that's what I did. Just
Well,
came out.
I have another hello for you from John March.
Oh, hi, John. Local guy.
That's what he said about you. And he also says he really likes your new CD with Kip
Kip,
Cooper. Kip.
Kipper. Yep. Thank you, John, very much. I know John knows Kip very well. And Kip, my producer, is one amazing cat. So we did a CD together. I mean, it's very much a collaboration, in my opinion. So, John,
Um, I'm going to just show your website here.
yeah,
And this here, that's really, this is the cover, right?
that's the cover of the album.
That's really nice.
Thank you.
And
Hmm.
yep, you can see a whole bunch. I don't know. Let's see where we're listening. I think this is going
Yeah,
to be
there you
okay.
can if you want.
Which song would you think that I should?
Well,
Whoops.
maybe Dolphin Dance,
All right.
or It's Just Talk. But yeah,
Let's see.
since Dolphin Dance is sort of the title track in a way.
All right. Let's check it out.
Whispering words, chattering muse, drifting through oceans, seasonal hues, life's colors, painted visions of you. Laughter breaks your light into view. Hearing you speak, soft and discreet, sounds only we hear. Gently we meet, gliding on the waves, surrender in a moment's notice. Dance of sacred language and chance. Whispering words, chattering muse, drifting through oceans, seasonal hues, life's colors, painted visions of you. Laughter brings your light into view. Hearing you speak, soft and discreet, sounds only we hear. Gently language and chance.
Wow. Now, it's funny. I was, first of all, when I went down here, I was confused. I thought this section right in here is like a little hard to understand. Who's doing all this? And then I realized it's probably Kip. Is this Kip did all of this?
He does. He did the well. So there. What he no. He did. Yes, he did. Kip Kipper on all these different. Yes, he did. Yes.
So piano, keyboards, woodwind score.
Well, on certain tunes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
those numbers are
Yeah.
relating to the different tracks.
Right, but
Yes.
still, that's a huge amount of.
Oh, he's amazing. He's a musical genius, creative, uh, yeah, incredible person. So Kip um, played in Rare Silk and toured with us.
Oh,
Yep, long time ago. So we actually met because he moved out here from Wisconsin to join our band, to join our touring band.
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we met like
Wow.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he works at Coop Studios in Boulder. He's been there for a long time. Scott Roach was the owner. He passed a few years ago, but Kip is still there. And Scott used to be our manager, so there's a lot of a
Connections.
lot of connections. Yeah.
Yeah. Buffy Present is here. I don't know.
Oh, hi, hi, Buffy.
Um, so, wow. So that's sounded great, and your singing sounded great.
Thank you so much.
Now, it said your swan song. Does that, I thought that means
The
the,
last one
yeah,
before you go.
yeah.
I know. It sort of came up that way when I started this project. But Kip and I are working on some music, so I don't want to make too much of the swan song thing, but it is that what happened is it got written up that way, and so it's out there that it's a swan song, but uh, I like that old thing, never say never. So it's maybe a swan song.
Somehow I don't see that. Because it's so cool and I mean
It's
it's
a lot of
great.
work. It took
Yeah,
over 2 years to put this album together. So
but that's
it was a great
I understand.
COVID project.
Yeah. I understand that. I mean, yeah, why you know, yeah, records don't have to take like 3 days, it's I mean 2 years is not a terribly long time, I think.
I actually agree with you because if you're going to really do a produced album, you're going to spend a lot of time in details and
Yeah.
layering, which is what we did. I mean, one of the things was the band had no piano player in the basic rhythm section. We had vibraphonist Greg Harris, who I love having that sound in there, but I also want piano. So we just decided to hire this incredible local band of musicians who play together a lot. And it just seemed like a good idea to put together a group of musicians because Denver and Boulder have an incredible pool of jazz musicians and other kinds of musicians. It's just kind of a little oasis here.
Yeah.
And so typically when I put a group together for a gig, I'll just pick and choose some of my favorites or that favorite or this favorite and kind of mishmash them together, but they all know each other and they
Yeah.
play well together. But for the album, I thought, instead of picking, here
Yeah.
and there. Let's bring in a band who's used to do working together. So
Yeah.
that's what I did. Then I added like
Jim
Jim
Riddle.
Riddle, yeah, who I met. That's how I met you. It's through
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
Jim
he's
played with Bear
great.
Silk way back when. So
Oh,
that's,
okay.
yes. He toured
Probably.
with us.
He probably told me that, but I forgot.
Yeah. So, um, so yeah, we just sent we did the rhythm tracks, started putting vocals on them, and then, because you do scratch vocals. At least
Yeah.
that's how I did it. Some of the stuff on the album is literally from the session.
Yeah.
A lot of it is uh, redone, of course.
Uh-huh.
So, as perfectionists as we are.
Yeah.
But sent the tracks to Jimmy in New York, New Jersey, wherever he is over there,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and
I think he's
laid
in.
down some of his tracks, I think on about 5 different tunes. So, and added
Great.
Mitch Chamara was the guitar solo on that song we just listened to.
Yeah.
And he came in the studio and
Was the the guitar, did he play guitar throughout? Was he the
no, Alex Heffron played guitar throughout and
loved
the
him
intro.
too.
And
Wow.
then I just wanted Mitch on the album because we have a connection and he does gigs with me and
Yeah.
I just wanted to find a spot for him, so
Yeah.
I gave him that solo. That's
Yeah, that's great. And but I also Alex was like very, I mean, I
oh
love guitar, so I always notice guitar, but it
oh.
sounds great.
Alex is one of the young lions here and he's really incredible. I love him. I mean, I wanted him on the album whether it was that group or not, but he just happened to be part of that group. So, yes, he's excellent.
Really nice. Really, really nice. Yeah, beautiful. And your singing sounds great. I don't know, I don't even imagine how you could even imagine. And I understand where the swan song thing came up, but I don't even imagine that how you could say that you might stop singing or something because mm,
Well, maybe it's more
right.
recording, but that's probably not
Uh,
true because Kip and
okay.
I get together and we go, oh, let's do this, let's do that. So we're
Yeah.
kind of talking about maybe doing an EP.
Okay.
Something that isn't quite as involved as this full, because I don't know if you noticed on this album, and this was Kip's idea. It has this flow to it. So I love the idea of course, because I'm old. I love the idea of people listening to music from top to bottom, like when you put an
Of
album
course.
on,
Yeah.
okay? And we don't do that anymore. And I find that kind of sad, okay? And I know that if you don't know what you're missing if you never did it. So I get it. But there's a little element to it that I miss. I don't have a record player, you know, just it's too big and bulky here. But um, I miss putting an album on and doing what I call active listening. You put it on, you put the needle on, and you really listen to the music. And I think there's a lot of inactive listening these days. So there's a little piece to this album that I'm sort of trying to encourage people to listen from the top down, like you would. And you can even imagine if you're a young person what it might have been like to listen that way. Instead of just, I like this song, I like that song. So I just am asking people to maybe listen one time through from the top down because this album has what we call miniatures sprinkled throughout the album. It starts out with a 1 minute tune, and then there's 2 or 3 tunes, and then there's another little 1 minute snippet. So it's kind of like a little bit of sorbet, if you will, a little palate cleanser in between tunes.
Wow.
And it just gives it a flow.
Yeah.
So if you listen from the top down, you'll hear these little snippets in between tunes that are like, oh, well that was quick, but it's just that's how it is. So
That's a cool idea.
um,
I mean, what would my inner mind be without listening to Marvin Gaye's What's Going On from the beginning to the end? I would be a different person if I hadn't
yeah.
heard that.
Right, right. So it's just
That's
something
cool.
that yeah.
I
So,
agree
so
with you.
yeah,
I agree with you about the record thing. It's like it's sad. We have a record player and tons of records because my husband collects records. But and sometimes, I'll be exercising or something and I'll put on a record and it's a great it's just you're right. It's just a great thing to do. It's a the
well, you're
process
actively
and all.
listening to,
Yeah.
it's like I'm going to put this music on
Hmm.
and it's going to fill my space and I'm actually in it, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's part of my environment. I'm sure people do that. It's not that but I just think less, you know. So,
Definitely less. I had something wrong with my eyes and I had to like not basically not look, close my eyes for like a day or two, and
right.
just
Oh,
put on
yeah.
music the whole time, and it was
Oh,
incredibly great. I used to have a boyfriend too. He and I literally would lie on the floor in the dark and put on records and just listen. It was great. Stevie Wonder records were great,
were there
especially.
any drugs involved? No.
Actually,
It's
no. Strangely, no drugs, no sex. It's just lying on the floor and listening.
beautiful music. You know. Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah, but you're
looked at,
making an EP. So,
yeah.
yeah. So what talk about what your thoughts are about that.
Oh, well. We sort of came up with this little theme that was around flowers,
Uh,
but it's in the very, very, very early stages because this album, Secret Language, just literally just came out. And because it was such a labor of love and it was kind of a big thing for me to finally do this, even though I don't have a label. Um, and I'm having to do all the publicity myself. So it's kind of I'm still enmeshed in that.
yeah.
So I don't know how soon, but we talk about it. We get together, have these little powwows, and throw out ideas. So we have a little list of tunes actually. Let's see what happens. One
Yeah,
one of them I've been working on actually. I will say is the Island, the
yeah,
Yvonne Lin's.
yeah.
Yeah, that one has really captivated me. Um, so we'll see what happens.
It's great. Oh, I have a side question here from Mark, who would like to know who did your website because he likes it.
Oh, person who did my website also did my album cover design, and his name is Brendan Hemp, Hem as in Mary, P as in Paul, and he is here in Colorado, and it's called Heavy Lifting. So
Oh,
I think if you Googled Brendan Hemp Heavy Lifting, you'll find him.
okay, there you
'Cause
go, Mark.
he's a very talented designer. Thank you for asking. I love giving kudos to the people who did all this beautiful work for me.
Yeah. Um, can we, do you have the island on your site or no? This
No,
is a different thing you're talking about.
that's the EP that we're kind of thinking about tunes that we might
I
do.
see.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, there's no recording of it. There's no. It's just me. I put it into uh, Logic Pro, like a iReal Pro rhythm track, and just start singing and learning it. That's where I'm at with it. I'm learning it. So no, there's no island. But we could listen to more of this album
We
that's so
will.
brand new,
We will. Definitely.
or
Absolutely.
or some more. I don't know, a rare silk, whatever you
Yeah,
want to
and
do, Kathy.
you had rare
Well, I
silk.
don't. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
You had
I'm
Rare
sorry.
Silk at the Jackson Jazz Festival. You sent me,
Jacksonville Jazz Festival.
and
Yeah, it's with a band, our Florida band, who we hadn't performed with hardly at all yet. And we did that gig, Jacksonville Jazz Festival. They put us on right after Branford and just before Miles.
oh,
Nice little sandwich. We were,
yeah, you also have, there's a Rare Silk. Well, you put it up in 2012. It was in New Orleans featuring Todd on
oh,
Janine.
Janine, that's awesome. The Janine thing is pretty awesome. It's mostly Todd. It's he's just so talented. It's really great. It swings very hard. So if you want to play
Oh, and
Janine, I won't
Jim is
argue.
there too. Yeah, it's
Oh
let's
yeah, that's right. Jim's on that gig. Yep.
just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Let's just
Here's
look
some
at it.
Janine. I love it.
No, was this a long time ago too?
Oh yeah. It gets better. The quality gets a little better.
Let's see.
Last time I saw Janine, she looked just like a royal queen. She cruised by with some wealthy guy in a Cadillac under the sea last time. Last time I saw Janine. Last time I saw Janine. Recall when we were 17. I was broke, but it was long ago and too short. That long, long green. Satisfied Janine, now she's gone from me. Moved away from the old neighborhood, and I'm certain she's gone for good. Last time I saw Janine, that dollar sign stood in between. Was love lost to the rising cost, and since then I've never seen. I haven't seen Janine. Now she's gone from me. Moved away from the old neighborhood, and I'm certain she's gone for good. Last time I saw Janine, that dollar sign stood in between. It was my love lost to the rising cost, and since then I've never seen. I haven't seen Janine. Last time I saw Janine, that scar she left was awful mean. Where are you, Jimmy? Where are you, Jimmy? What are you, Jimmy? Who are you, Jimmy? When are you, Jimmy? Why are you, Jimmy? How are you, Jimmy?
So are these guys, are all of the rest of your group, are they still singing or what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah. Marguerite lives in
Any names
Denver.
but
Her
Spice
birthday was here.
too. And
Yeah.
what
Uh-huh.
And she is singing, yes. And we get together. We do some stuff together once in a while.
Cool.
Um, Gail, my sister, lives in California, and she's kind of taken up some gigs more recently again. Gail actually put out an album, I guess about maybe 15 or 20 years ago now, which is crazy, but she recorded a beautiful album with Kip as producer.
Oh,
More standards album. It's very
oh,
nice.
cool.
Called Let Me Be Frank. It's very good. Yeah. And then, so yeah, Todd has passed. He passed, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago or so, something like that. Um, so, and then I think on that gig was Peter Huffaker on bass. I think it was Peter. Um, he's around. Jim Riddle was playing piano, and Michael Berry was the drummer, and he passed some years ago as well. And he toured with us pretty much the whole time we were together.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
I could tell Jim, even though he had long hair, even
Yeah,
though he had hair, you could see his movements or, it was definitely
it
his
was very Jim. Yeah.
yeah,
And you
definitely.
actually sung with him?
Yeah, in fact, I just sang with him about a month or two ago. I went to the East Coast and I sang with him and Dean Johnson and Tim Horner.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. It was great. At the Soapbox Gallery in Brooklyn,
Yeah, I don't really know the
they
place.
play there a lot.
Uh-huh.
It-
I've seen him post.
yeah,
Yeah,
you can stream it
campaign.
too. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's so good.
Oh, he's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So his one of the guys he works with a lot is Paul Jost, the singer.
Oh, yeah, I know that name, but I
He's a
don't.
drummer and a singer, but nowadays he's mostly, I mean, his career is mostly about his singing.
Really?
He's just a terrific human being, and so he sings with that trio a lot. That's how I kind of came into that trio.
Oh, you have an album out recently, don't you?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like my 15th CD, but
Wow.
it's a re-release of a 1992 duo in Japan. I traveled with this great piano player named Philip Strange for 20 years in Japan. And he's kind of, he's more of a modern player. And this album was mostly standards and two discs live recorded onto DAT. Remember DAT? And and it's actually being played a lot on the radio, and so it's intriguing to me because it's like, oh, okay, people like it. Yeah, I mean, to me, it was valuable to put out because it was a really good example of a live duo and what how free it can be, and still doing standards, but just kind of, the flow of a duo is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Nice. You toured Japan for 20 years, did you say?
I did, yeah. Um,
Wow.
First 10 years I went there like 3 times a year, basically. And then after that, I would usually go like once a year for a bit of like 3 weeks or something like that. The last time I was going to go in March of 2020.
Oh, Lord.
And then I was like, I don't
You could have
know.
gotten stuck over there.
Yeah, yeah, it was,
March of 2020. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I miss it
That was
a
a
lot.
time. You do, yeah. Do you speak Japanese?
Just a little bit, to get around.
Enough to kind of, right.
Yeah, to get
Well,
around and to make people laugh.
we went over there one time with Benny for three jazz festival gigs
Oh,
with all these
nice.
the Oryx Jazz Festival. It was quite something, but it was a long time ago.
So you actually sang with Benny Goodman. I mean,
Yes, we did.
so
Yeah,
what was
we
Benny
were.
Goodman like at that point?
Oh, he was great to us. He was really sweet to us, and I mean, I've heard a lot of stories about Benny, but he was very good to us. He we were Marguerite, Gail, and myself. We were still doing the older music, like I was saying, and he came along. He was going to do a gig at a venue here at CU, and I called the program council and said, "You should have Rare Silk open for Benny." And they said, "Yeah, that's a really good idea." So we did. And he caught us while we were doing our sound check, and he told somebody to pull up a chair because he just liked what he heard. And we did that gig, and then within a week or two, he calls my answering machine at home, my old tape answering machine, and leaves a message himself. This is Benny Goodman, would you like to go on the road with us, So I mean, we were just in a whirlwind. We did, we're not even 30 yet, just doing our thing. And so we went to do a gig with him at Boston Symphony Hall. It was live broadcast on PBS. And then he asked us to join him on tour, and we played at Carnegie Hall and Playboy Jazz Festival at the Hollywood Bowl. He took us to Japan. I mean, it was just incredible.
Wow.
With his, like a sextet, basically, at a guitar. Do you know who Eddie Duran is?
I know that name, but I don't really.
Guitarist.
Yeah.
He played with Benny.
Okay.
Eddie was great. Yeah, a couple horn players, two or three horn players. Teddy Wilson was actually on the Japan gig with us.
Wow.
I, it just sounds like a fantasy. Yeah, yeah. So.
That's great.
Mhm.
Um, I know you teach too now, right?
Well, a little bit. I don't have a lot of students, but I like to teach what I call jazz vocal styling, basically. So it kind of requires somebody to have a foundation in jazz standards, and then trying to help them to understand how to style a tune. Because to me, that's a big part of singing is styling it and finding the nuances and the moments. So yeah, I don't have a lot of students though. It's there aren't that many people around here who want to. I actually was part of I don't know what you call it. It was a company that did a lot of music teaching, and they put me on their roster, but we didn't get that many calls for jazz singing. So yeah,
There you go.
there you go.
Well, did you have favorite people you listened to along the way or now, perhaps? Like obviously you said you grew up listening to what was being played in your house.
Yeah, that, those early days, and then when I was a 19-year-old and early 20s, like I say, for one thing, it wasn't it wasn't necessarily vocalists. It was instrumentalists and vocalists, and I became enamored with Sarah and of course Billie Holiday and Ella, Betty Carter, Mark Murphy, Kurt Elling.
Hmm.
Um, so
What do you listen to nowadays?
Laura, oh, I can't say that I'm totally tuned into certain people right now. I mean, I don't know. I've been pretty busy, so I haven't like done a lot of research lately of people. I could use some guidance there. Like I like to turn people on to music,
Yeah.
and it's nice when people do that. It's like, hey, listen, why don't you listen to this? So I can't off the top of my head come up with current. What do
Yeah.
you listen to right
There's
now?
there's so much. I mean, I listen to sorry, I have a chronic cough. I listen to the body of CDs that I have, and I have a friend who literally every time I see him gives me 2 to 4 CDs.
Oh, see, I need a friend like that.
Oh my God. But I was listening to Bill Frisell the other night. I
Uh-huh.
love
Yeah.
Bill Frisell, and he's very active now. I'm a big guitar fan. I like John Scofield, Bill Frisell, John Abercrombie, that kind of guitar mostly.
Me too.
And singers, I'm picky about singers. I would listen to you.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, you're a really great singer.
I'm very picky about singers too. I'm kind of a
Yeah.
jazz snob. I try not to be, but then again, I'm kind of proud of it too.
Well, it's it's you're looking like me. I'm looking for qualities that I like. Like I like to hear a. I mean, not necessarily the person doesn't have to have a perfect voice. I really am
Mm,
not
mhm,
married to that. However, when they do, like Cecile McLaurin Salvant
mhm, mhm,
or
mhm.
Samara Joy, they have
Veronica Swift.
Veronica.
They,
They have this
these
good,
names are coming to me now because I do listen to these people. Yes.
yeah, they have really nice instruments. They have great range. Their intonation is good. Okay. But that is not the only thing. I want to hear some heart and soul. And like Samara Joy is 23 probably now. She's such an
Yeah.
old soul,
Yeah.
and Cecile is so
Oh,
confident in who she is and she can do anything. And it's kind of a joy to listen to her live.
I did see. Yeah, I saw her about a year ago here in Denver.
Yeah.
Samara Joy is coming to Denver to Dazzle, unless, yeah, I think she's coming.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think Veronica is amazing.
Uh-huh.
Just kidding. I mean, she's so Anita.
Her
Yeah,
ballads are incredible. Great ballads.
yeah.
You
I
know,
watched a lot of the Emmett Cohen live at Emmett's
too.
place.
Isn't that very good, right?
Oh my God, it's so cool.
Did you
That's
happen to see Mary Stallings with them?
Yeah, I did.
That was
She's unbelievable. Oh my God.
incredible, wasn't it?
Mm. I saw her. I saw Samara Joy. That's how I got introduced to her, was actually by watching one of those. Veronica Swift, a couple of them by her. I mean, she's just so free and she's just blows my mind.
Well, and look
She's
how she grew up too,
young
with
too.
Stephanie
I know.
Nakazian and Hot O'Brien as her parents.
Exactly.
And
No, I know.
yeah,
That the upbringing kind of helps.
I do tend to listen more to instrumentalists. Joe Lovano is one of my favorite, and
Hmm.
so I tend to listen more along that. Actually, when I was playing back east, I played at the Deerhead Inn, and the night before, Harry Allen came, and I've interviewed him, sax player, and but watching him live, I absolutely loved it. He was absolutely in love with making the music. It was so enjoyable to
Wow.
listen to and watch.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know him.
and LA is filled with, it's really an embarrassment of riches. We have
Yeah.
so many incredible players. And so,
Well, where do people play now? In LA?
well, there's a bunch of little places that have popped up, like in Highland Park. There's several places. Catalina's, but Catalina's, like I saw Samara with Tamir Hendelman, who's a wonderful pianist, just a duo. I also saw their Dee Dee Bridgewater and Bill Charlap, who have
Mm-hmm.
been touring together. That was incredible because these two older, mature, like truly mature, as far as living on the planet. Because Samara is very mature, but she's also
Yeah.
23.
Yeah.
But she's totally, I mean, that concert was mind blowing, and so was Dee Dee Bridgewater and Bill Charlap. Um, and Vitello's upstairs. Vitello's is where uh, Bobby, what's his name, did not kill his wife. You know, the the actor Robert.
Oh,
Um, I want to say Blake. Is that his last name? Bobby.
Rob. Yes, 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 yeah, Blake. I think
And I
so.
should know because I actually dated him for a second, but
Oh,
I can't. Anyway, but upstairs, they have a nice room, really nice room with a nice stage,
okay.
and that's in
I'll
Studio
make my way
C.
out to LA again one of these days.
Yeah, if you ever do, I'd love to help. That
Oh,
would
so
be
cool.
very nice.
Yeah.
Um, and anyway, so yeah, sometimes outside, sometimes home venues, sometimes I find that there's a little place called the Urban Press Winery. I sing in a place called the Conference Room in Playa Vista. So
Hmm.
there's all these things happening, and you know, it's just great. Sometimes visiting artists. John DeVersa, do you know that name?
I don't actually know.
He's a trumpet player. He lived here for a while, and then he went to Miami to have a good position in U of Miami.
Yep.
And he's a brilliant writer and arranger. And the way he thinks in different time meters, but it doesn't sound,
Uh,
it sounds good. And then he has a
yeah.
small group, and I just can't tell you. I saw the group about 2 weeks ago, and it was orgasmic.
Yay.
So good, man. John DeVerse, a small group. You'd probably love to hear that too.
I'm sure I would. I'm sure I
Yeah.
would. I'm not getting to Dazzle, which is the main club in Denver, as much as I was when I lived in Denver. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of a trek, It's a little bit more of a project. But there is a small club here in Boulder called Cafe Soleil that I sing at, and he brings in great groups. Not as much of the national acts, but
Yeah.
we have a really uh, incredible group of musicians here as well. So
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
It's cool. I remember talking to this friend of mine. I won't mention her name just so that because it doesn't need to be. But she said she has these incredible arrangements, right? Incredible records. So I said, "Wow, you're really doing well now. Congratulations." And she said, "Yeah, the good news is I have these incredible charts." So I said, "Well, is there bad news?" She said, "Yeah, I have these incredible charts." So
My God.
when she travels, those incredible charts will not sound the same
Of course
because,
not.
you send the
No.
charts to the guys ahead and you don't
Well,
know
they don't.
how to
I'll
listen.
tell you what. I mean, I've done enough gigs, and I kind of put the pressure on because I like to do arrangements when I do
Yeah.
gigs. But typically, you don't have the opportunity to do a lot of rehearsal,
Yeah.
if any.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get together with just the pianist or the guitarist.
Right.
But, I throw these charts at the band and we might just kind of pour them over a little bit. But I am asking a lot of them, but they show up pretty amazingly. Pretty amazingly. It's
Yeah.
always surprising. But even with these album tunes, I mean, I did an album release at Cafe Soleil here, and we rehearsed for maybe an hour, and that certainly that's a quick rehearsal if you're trying to cover a lot of
Yeah.
involved material.
But was it the same
So
band that you had on the record?
it was, except well, I added Eric Gunnison. He joined us on
Okay.
piano. He's not on the record though, but
That's a little better, right?
and I what's that?
That's a little better that you have the
Oh,
same band on the record. I mean,
it
they may
is,
have
but
forgotten
it had been a year since they'd recorded the rhythm track. So
Yeah.
and the thing about it is though, because you said, you'll send stuff to the band ahead of time. Well, getting them to actually open up that file and
I
look at the
know.
chart
I
or listen to an MP3 if you send them something it's like I'll say, hey, if you have a few minutes, could you just give a quick listen to this while looking at the chart. This is like 5 tunes out of the whole show that I'm asking them to do that on. And so it used to be if you put stuff in Dropbox, you could tell when people opened it. But they stopped that. I don't know if you remember that, but used to be you'd get a little message. Oh, so and so opened your Dropbox that you shared with them, right? So
Yeah.
you knew. So you'd go to the gig and if you'd know who looked at it and who didn't.
And they try and put on this front,
No,
right?
you
Yeah,
didn't even look at that stuff.
right. Like, oh, I know this. Oh, what was that?
Oh, it's a different key. Oh, it's a whole different arrangement. Okay. Dropbox stopped doing that, so you can't tell when people actually look or don't look. But I know they're not really looking at them. But the thing is, they're actually very accomplished musicians, and we always pull it off. So I'm sure they're looking at me going, "You're going to bring those charts with you again?" Those, yes, I am. And you can choose to either look at them or not ahead of time.
Well, I mean, as a singer, so yeah, it's interesting. In fact, last night I was just kind of putting an old record chart into my Sibelius because I realized I didn't have it in my computer, and I don't know, there was some kind of a hole that some of my charts fell into. I cannot find these friggin' charts. So,
Oh,
but I was thinking, I could probably do this chart again. It was from my first record, which had some really beautiful arrangements on it. But you have to, as the singer, who's traveling around and using new bands, or even not traveling, just doing any gig,
mhm.
you have to
You
kind
pick
of
it
think
up.
about your
Listen.
material. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to think about your material and then decide, yeah, this probably could be done, you know, in the moment, you
The
know.
other part of it, though, is that when you're doing a live show, you want it to be very musical.
Yeah.
You want it to have the flow and be fun and be
Yeah.
musical. And if you're throwing too many hard charts at them and they're just reading
Yeah.
charts, it just stilts it a little bit. It's going to make it a little less of that free flowing joy. So you got to
Yeah.
mix it up with a little of everything, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
That you include stuff that can just fly,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. And that obviously takes some experience knowing which
Right.
songs might be those flying songs, easy,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, yeah. I usually know which ones. It's like this one's gonna fly. No one's gonna. You have to even look at a chart. So
Right.
do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking of students, not like, how do you know? How do you know that? How do you know a
Oh
song's gonna
well.
fly? You have to
Yeah.
have experienced it. See, we were lucky because we grew up in a time when there was a lot more experience to be had, you know. I mean, we had to work for a living. And what did we do? I mean, besides maybe a straight job too, but we went out and did all kinds of gigs, right?
hmm hmm Right. Well, you have a longer history of that, I think, than I do.
Yeah, because you went right into fame.
I went right in. Yeah, it's like just jump on the ship and go.
I'm gonna go back to your record and
Thanks.
let's
What
hear
are you
let's
gonna
hear
play?
some more.
Let's
Um,
just talk. The
so
Matheny tune, maybe.
what? I'm sorry.
The Matheny tune. It's just talk.
Oh, it's just talk. No, did you write
Uh,
lyrics?
yeah, I did.
Did
To the
not.
one that we already listened to, that was my lyric, and this one as well. This took me over 30 years to write these lyrics. I
Now,
mean, I didn't spend all that time trying to write them. I just wanted to, and
and
it
it,
just
it
wouldn't.
looks like you got permission to publish because you've changed the name a little. Is that right?
No, that's the correct name. The one on Dolphin Dance I had to change. That's why I called it Dolphin Dance Secret Language. Herbie Hancock they requested that I add that. But
I,
on It's Just Talk, that is how Matheny does it. But they didn't request that I change it. But
I don't know
I
if,
did get permission. Yes.
oh, good. I don't know if I shared with you, but I wrote lyrics when I was in college to In Her Family. I don't know if you remember that. It was from Circle.
That Matheny?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Da 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 da. Da, da, da,
Uh-huh.
da,
Uh-huh.
da.
Oh yeah, I'd
Anyway,
like to hear that.
yeah,
So
I'll send that to you just for
yeah, please
fun.
do. Oh,
Um,
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
her family. Yeah. Um, it's such a pretty song. And
And
his
this,
music, I think,
oh,
it's so writable, isn't it? You know,
really is. And I mean, this album that It's Just Talk was on, it was Still Life Talking. And
yeah,
that's definitely a favorite Matheny album.
yeah,
And
definitely.
I wanted to write lyrics to this tune for so long. And when Kip and I started talking about what tunes we're going to do, and that was on the list, but I hadn't written lyrics yet. And so one time I go in the studio and he's getting all the charts out, and It's Just Talk is there. And I said, Kip, I don't know if that's going to happen because I can't find the lyrics. Like it's just not coming. And he just looks right at me and goes, you try again. You just try again. And I went home and literally they started just coming out. So,
That's funny.
there it is.
That's a very sweet story. And there's
Yeah.
something, it's cool to have a comrade like that who will
Oh,
say something and it'll just unlock something inside, you know?
absolutely. And he definitely does that for me. And I
Yeah.
think I do that for him too. So we're just a great team.
That's really beautiful.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Kip.
Okay, so here's It's Just Talk.
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
That's Kip singing with me.
Oh, cool.
Listen closely to heaven. Look around. Feel the sound waves.
That's cool. Very cool. That is one of the great Matheny songs for sure.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
It's always a little daunting to take on a song like that.
Yeah, yeah. I went
It
to
reminds
see.
me. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say I went to see Pat this last year with his new trio, and when he played his songs, I was surprised that the whole friggin' audience was singing along.
Oh,
I was
wow.
surprised about that. I don't
That's
know.
amazing. Well, they're clearly Matheny fans.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like to take on a tune like that and put lyrics to it and put it out. It's like some people might go, "Oh, you know, I don't want to hear any other version," right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of that way a long time ago with Stolen Moments. And
Uh-huh.
I remember the first time I heard Mark Murphy sing Stolen Moments with his
Yeah.
lyric, and I was like, "Ugh, I don't like that." Because I was all about the Oliver Nelson version, and that was just like classic to
Yeah.
me, you
Yeah.
know. But of course, after some time, of course, I love Mark's version of
Oh,
Stolen
yeah.
Moments.
Well, what about Birdland?
Yeah, Birdland too, sure. I
I
mean,
mean,
but
that
that's
was,
amazing.
yeah, and
Mhm.
because Weather Report was, to me, that was the
Oh
classic.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's like
like,
you're gonna take on something like that. You're taking a chance. People might hate you. It's like that's
um,
my song. Don't mess with my song.
well, you almost have an offer of work here. Mark Baldridge said, if I ever needed a singer on my CDs, you'd be a great person to use.
Come on, Mark. Talk to me.
There you go,
Hi,
Mark.
Mark. Thank you.
Um, yeah, and Joyce Glasgow is asking about, how we submit lyrics to Pat, like whether
Oh
it's just
yeah.
the lyrics or the recording. I honestly can't remember if I did just the lyrics uh, uh,
I
or the recording
recall, I
too.
think I sent them, it's their law, their attorneys, and I don't know, the publishing people. I think I sent them a recorded, a very funny, I have it, it's actually on my YouTube channel, pretty cute. It's me singing the lyric to this kind of funny rhythm track that my friend Michael had put together.
Yeah,
It's totally different feel,
yeah,
but I think I sent that to them, and also to Herbie when I got the permission for
yeah,
Dolphin Dance.
yeah. I
I
think I
think I
sent
sent
a
them a
recorded
version
too.
of me singing with some kind of a rhythm track
Hmm.
that ultimately it did not end up being the track,
Yeah,
and the written lyrics.
yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah. I think I did too. Actually, Pat wrote me back. This was
Oh.
a while back, and I've heard from several people who met him along the way, like musicians that he really loved my lyrics. So that was really
Oh, I love
very
that.
nice.
I haven't gotten that one. I mean, when I never heard from Pat, even Herbie for that matter. I did lyrics to Mike Stern tune, which is on the album, and he did communicate with me directly,
That's
and he
nice.
was just a sweetheart. He's
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, beautiful, very complimentary, and yeah, very sweet. But no, no Pat or Herbie. And I've actually sent both of them, uh, who knows where those emails go, but to the people that I had been communicating with. And I just sent them, you know, an MP3 and said, here it is if you ever want to hear it. But I've never heard anything. So,
Yeah, I've
yeah.
had various things. I have written a few lyrics that have gotten accepted, like Vince Mendoza, a beautiful, beautiful song called Ambivalence. I wrote lyrics to that, and he responded. He gave me permission to publish under a
Hey,
different name. He came up with a name for the song,
oh,
new. Let's see what else. There was the Matheny song, a Yellow Jackets tune.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, fun.
um, and then other songs I've written lyrics and I've recorded them. Like Schofield, his wife handles his business, and she said he doesn't really, he doesn't love when people do that. So she said, you're welcome
Oh,
to record
interesting.
it. So I record,
Interesting.
and did some monk tunes and
You've written a lot.
well, every now and then, like there's an incredibly brilliant piano player here named Otmaro Ruiz, and there's this one song for years. He loves it too, because he plays it a lot. And I just every time I hear that song, I'm in heaven, and I just had to write lyrics, and so that was easy because he's a fellow musician here. So
Yeah, I love it. I mean, lyrics for me are they come or they don't. I mean,
yeah,
I wrote lyrics to a couple of Rare Silk tunes.
yeah.
Storm was one, and
Who wrote the melody
and
or the music?
Storm is a Stanley Turrentine tune.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, and I wrote the lyrics to that, so way back when. And some lyrics to the Eddie Harris, You Know It's Wrong. I wrote those with Todd. But I mean, I went for years without. I wrote lyrics to Lucky Southern, but I've
Hmm.
never recorded that. That's
Yeah.
Keith Jarrett, right? And and then like this one, It's Just Talk, took me forever. And then they come. The Herbie Hancock tune spilled out like that. So yeah, for me, it doesn't come as easily as it sounds like it comes to you, but you know,
I don't know if
it.
it's easily. I mean, I always tell people when they're asking me to write lyrics, it's like, okay, but I'm not like a commercial writer. So I think
Right.
the way I think is kind of airy, and so if you
That's
like
what you
that,
do. Right.
that's, what's going to come out.
I know. I look at my lyrics and I go, there's kind of a common theme here. There's like stars and trees and shadows and stuff.
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's me too. I have a kind of a common because I'm a the glass half full person, so I'm always like, and
Right.
being a singer,
That is beautiful.
yeah, it's like there's this. Well, Brazilian music always cracks me up because Brazilians always have everything in their lyrics, from the heartbreak to the joy in one song.
In
You
one
killed
song.
me, but I
Right.
love you because you were, and
I
that just
hate
cracks
you, I
me up.
love you.
Yeah, it's just funny.
Funny.
But yeah. But I also want to show people some of your photography too, because
Oh,
your
wow.
other career is your photography, right? So where
Sure.
do I go?
Well, I don't. Where are you going for that?
Well, that's what I want to know. Where do I go?
We could do the face, but I think the Facebook page is better. My website is very antiquated, so
Okay,
go on
so
to Facebook and I will
yeah.
guide you there. It's actually
And should
just
I put your
Marilyn
name?
Gillespie Photography. So I think if you put Marilyn Gillespie Photography, yeah, right there on the top. Yes, it's a better place. Yes. So I did Renee Marie's cover.
Is this David Amram?
Yeah.
I
Yep.
love David Amram.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
He
great
came through.
picture.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I
He came
love
through
that.
town. I do a lot of stuff for KUVO, the radio station, the jazz station here in
Yeah.
Denver. Oh, thank God, I got a heart. Yay.
That's beautiful picture. I just saw him on my trip back east. We had dinner together.
Oh, yeah. He's a
Yeah,
character. Oh my
I
gosh.
what a guy.
There's a local musician here.
Great. This is really wow, cool.
She's an artist, obviously. Yeah.
That's
Yeah, pretty
great.
conceptual. So this is Lanny Garrett. Lanny is a singer, performer here in Denver. She's a Denver icon. She's a
I
beautiful
love that.
woman. People love her. I did a little restaurant or business series
That's
here in
a
the
cool
well.
photo.
Thank you.
Wow, I love that. Was he put
He's
in?
the restaurant owner.
No, was he put in there on the picture, or was that
No,
actually?
I took it, but I do stuff. I
That's
don't,
great.
yeah, I just do stuff.
Love that. Beautiful.
Yeah, Adam Ravel. He's a local pianist.
Beautiful. Oh,
Thank you. Ah,
great
mhm.
photo.
The doggy portraits.
Oh my God, that is so gorgeous. Classic, man. Oh, I love your
Reka.
lighting. Your lighting is so beautiful.
Thank you. A lot of studio lighting. That's Reka is a yeah, it's another restaurant here in town.
Beautiful. That's cool. Nice. Is that
Thank
the
you.
same guy,
That's
Adam?
Adam again. That was the same photo shoot.
That's great photo.
Another musician, another theme. Senior portraits.
Oh, for some
Glamour
reason,
shot. Senior portraits
portraits
are fun.
always bother me when they're, in this position or upside down, because then I
Oh,
have to go like
you
that,
have to like go around. Yeah.
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 Oh, that's a great photo too. I love that it's on white. That is
Yeah,
beautiful.
white's fun. White is really fun. Yeah, it's great because it just is about the person, you
Yeah.
know?
Are
Oh,
you famous for your dog photos?
I don't know if I'm famous for them. That's Julie Monley. She's a vocalist here. She's wonderful.
That's
I
a
sing
great
with her.
shot.
Yeah.
Beautiful shot. Huh.
And another couple singers.
Adorable. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous. Oh my God, what a great photo.
Born.
Was
Yeah.
this your idea?
It's one of those in the moment things where you're doing a photo shoot and the mom's like, oh, he's got a tattoo on his back and let's lay him. So we kind of, it's a collaboration. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
these things just kind of
That's
happen.
great. And his hands on his head. I mean, I just,
I definitely remember placing that.
that's
Yes.
beautiful. Wow. Gorgeous.
Thank you. Terry Joe is another singer, and I sing with her. We have a group called Quartet, like
Oh,
quirky,
yeah.
and she sings with me with Julie Monley, the other gal that was in that photo back a couple
Yeah,
ways.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
Cool. Got to
Mhm.
show the tattoo. If you showed my tat, you'd have to see my ass.
Oh,
This is a nice
yeah,
shot. Beautiful.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Heidi, another vocalist here.
Oh,
And then a little more of this local business series that I did for the doggies.
what a great looking dog, man.
Hmm.
Wow. Oh, beautiful.
Little in
Little
maternity section.
pregnancy thing.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
beautiful.
Thank you. I don't do as much of this stuff as I did. I'm just not, you know, it gets to a point where if people want me to shoot, I will, but I'm not like promoting my career right now as much.
You take great shots, man. These are really beautiful.
This
Great
is Kubo
feeling.
people, KUVO. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, so and I'm sure, oh, senior picture. Wow, those are much better senior shots than I ever took.
Oh, well, senior shots these days are like model photo shoot. That's, yeah, business, this is a business shoot here.
Yeah, I remember
More senior portraits.
yeah, more a dog. Look at that. That is so cool, man. The dog shots are great. Oh yeah, I remember this is
That's Renee. Hmm.
yeah, this is really nice, huh?
Renee's, yeah,
Oh,
voice of my beautiful country.
didn't
Oops, what happened?
I don't know, didn't really like that for some reason.
There we
Um,
go.
yeah.
Oh, clicking through. Yeah, I don't know. She's a wonderful, wonderful singer and a wonderful person. Oh, there's a bunch of doggies. If you want to see some dogs, go up again.
Yeah.
Go back up and click on that first one.
Nice,
Oh,
nice dogs.
yeah.
Yeah, these are great shots. Oh. Oh.
Oh, and the cat. That's, yeah.
Specimen A.
That was my cat.
Oh my God. Yeah, so this is cool. So, have you been into photography a long time?
Yeah. Well, after Rare Silk broke up in '88,
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what what to do with myself and how to recreate myself, if you
Uh-huh.
will. Here's a bunch of maternity shots. Those are
These
pretty
are
too.
cool. Yeah. Uh-huh.
With them. And I, what was the question?
Just how long you've been into, you said,
Yeah, that was so. I went to school in Denver. They called it CIA. It was Colorado Institute of Art
uh-huh.
for photography because I just needed to recreate myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was in '92,
Uh-huh.
and I graduated in '94, and I opened a studio. That's
Oh,
Julian, or not that one, but up above. Yeah, bunch of
yeah.
yeah. These are all headshots. Hmm.
Yeah, very nice. Beautiful stuff.
That's Julie again. Good gal. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
okay, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my second career.
Well, that's really
I mean,
nice.
I've been a photographer for over 25 years. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I've done. They call me the official photographer of KUBO. Here,
Oh.
it's the Jazz Festival. Yeah, it's nice. So I go there. I started doing their headshots a long time ago because I had a studio in Denver. So they would come to my studio and just I'd set up this backdrop and they'd come through. Now I go to their studio and bring my backdrop. So I'm still doing shots for Kubo. So
Uh-huh.
it's very nice. I love being connected with them. They played my album a ton when it first came out.
Uh-huh.
Um, of course, trying to get national airplay is a whole nother story. So,
Yes, it is. In recent years, I joined the Origin label, and
oh, you did?
yeah, and
Yeah.
the radio is kind of impressive what they've done with my projects. I was using my friend who does like sends out for reviews. In the old days, I always used to go for reviews first because I figured reviews they last forever. You can
Exactly.
use quotes and forever, but
Yeah.
and unless you're coming out with consistent things for radio, it's I don't know, it's a little bit like throwing your money away.
Well, you're
Um,
probably talking about Holly, Judy,
yes, I
maybe?
am. Yep.
Yeah. So I talked to her.
Yeah.
I did talk to her. I also spoke with another publicist. I
Uh-huh.
just can't afford it, to be perfectly honest.
Well, yeah, it's money.
I just don't have that. Got this album done through a Kickstarter. You
Oh,
know,
cool.
hiring a publicist is a big thing for me, and I can't really do it right now.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm getting a few write-ups coming up, and I'm just trying to get some airplay, but
Uh-huh.
it's a challenge. And Origin, speaking of Origin, I did write to them. I have not heard anything, but because I don't know if they ever take on somebody who's already put an album out independently, if they would then re-release on their label. And that was the question I asked them in my email that went into the ethers. And
Try again because
I will. I'll
they're
call
both
them.
they're all musicians, so they can be busy and whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And things can go into junk folders. You never know.
I know.
So I can call them too. I will try again. I
Yeah,
have a friend here who just got signed to Origin,
yeah.
and her album is coming out in August. So I did her photography.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I'll try again.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah. Judy is or Holly is very good at getting reviews.
Oh, I'm sure
Very
she
good.
is.
Yeah.
If I could, I would. Trust me, I would. I would sign
I've
up.
been producing this singer Pierre Chambers, who happens to be the son of Paul Chambers, and it's a really nice record. I really love his singing, and we got most of it done through a GoFundMe, and right now we've basically finished the record, and we need mastering it, but we're looking for the money to master it and to hire Holly, to so that, you know,
And I've
because
considered running another,
yeah,
Kickstarter or whatever. I'm just, it's hard to ask for that money, honestly.
yeah,
Um, it's just, yeah. It's because I already ran a Kickstarter and people contributed and it was beautiful. I, of course, didn't ask for as much as I needed. Because on Kickstarter, if you don't get what you ask for, you don't get anything. So
right.
I was afraid to ask for too much. Like
I
I
understand.
was just being conservative. It was so
I
unlike,
understand. Yeah.
so unlike
You
me.
never know how it's going to go. Yeah, the
You don't.
GoFundMe's
So
are,
I was conservative. I made a goal. It was beautiful, but I should have asked for more. And I
uh-huh.
wasn't thinking ahead on the fact that I should have included an amount for publicist. So I could run another one. I just
Yeah.
was thinking about it.
Yeah,
So,
Mark, you're right. Mark is suggesting Benjamin Schultz, and he's done a project or two of mine too, and he's more affordable actually.
oh,
Um, and
well,
another
I'll write that
musician
name
guy.
down.
Yeah, Benjamin
Benjamin
Schultz.
Schultz.
Schultz, Scholz.
Oh,
Yeah, and he's been doing
okay.
it a long time, and
Oh,
he's put
well,
out
thank
some
you,
really
Mark.
good artists and stuff. But
Thank you.
yeah.
Appreciate that.
I mean, the
Yeah.
whole, as we know, it's just there's so much business that you have to make decisions about, and
Absolutely.
it's just that's the way it is. You have to make those decisions.
Right.
But yeah. Um, so these days, do you practice singing? Do you
Yeah, oh
practice
yeah,
your
absolutely.
voice and stuff?
I do. Yeah, I have to. You
Yeah,
have to. Because if you don't, and you have a gig coming up, you're going to be in trouble.
yeah.
Yeah, I have a little setup. I've got an amp here with a mic. I like to sing into a mic. I like to
Uh,
sing when I practice. I do like singing that way.
yeah.
And I use the iReal Pro app,
Uh-huh.
or I have some rhythm tracks to sing to. But yeah, hmm I do. I practice singing and
Very
learning new tunes.
good.
Uh,
Very good.
Very good. I'm not great at doing vocal exercises, but
Uh-huh.
I do a little more now than I used to. But yeah, in particular when I have a gig coming up, I sing uh, maybe every day or at least 5 days a week.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. I didn't sing today though.
Okay, you're forgiven. You're forgiven.
Yeah.
I
Ah,
practice vocal technique a lot, but it doesn't, you do have to practice singing, just singing too, because then when you
yeah.
get to the gig, no matter how much vocal technique you've practiced, when you get to the gig, it's like, oh,
Yeah, no, it is that way. And I appreciate vocal technique, but I really, one way that I used to when I first started singing again, I started just singing to old Bear Silk tunes and singing my
oh,
part
that's cool.
because it's kind of mindless. Like I'm not trying to create
Yeah,
any kind of whatever. When you're singing a song, you're trying to create feel and find cool things to do.
yeah,
With Bear Silk stuff, it was just remembering my part, which I still do amazingly, and just singing with it. And it was just a great vocal warm up for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I love that. I think that's great.
hmm yeah.
So, um, do you remember the greatest piece of advice you ever got?
Oh,
I know these
you
are
know,
hard
do,
questions.
do what you love doing. You know what? You know where that came from?
What? Where?
The John Lennon thing.
See,
I
a
kid you
phone
not.
call,
I
John
had
Lennon.
that conversation with John Lennon. Not like, I mean,
Yeah,
it was just such a funny moment, but
yeah,
asked me, I asked him what we were just having this teeny little conversation while we're waiting for Phil Spector to come on the line. And he told me, you should find something you love doing.
Oh,
That was
now
my,
who can say that?
and I thought to myself, easy for you to say.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, and the other one was from my dad. My dad said his piece of advice was, whenever you, how did this go? If you have a project or something and you're having trouble, finding your way to it, his words were, just begin. Just begin. That's all you have to do. First step. Because you can get so overwhelmed, It's like, oh, it's so big. Just begin.
That is so true.
Yep. Yeah.
There's a book, Big Magic, written by Elizabeth, I forget her last name. She's the one Elizabeth Gilbert. She wrote Eat, Pray, and Love.
Eat, pray, love. Yeah.
Yeah, and she wrote Big Magic after that. And
Oh,
it's a great book. It's very easy to read, and it basically gives you permission
yeah.
to be creative. And
Be or big magic?
big,
Big. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Permission
But
to, yeah,
yeah,
create.
but
Mhm.
there's so much good stuff in that book. But one thing was that she she had committed to herself very early that she was going to write every day. She decided she wanted to be a writer, and she committed. I'm writing every day. This was when she was young, and so she always wrote. So what she discovered was moments like she would write, and then she'd be excited at first, and then hold on one second. Um, um,
I'm getting a call. Let me squelch that.
okay.
And by the way, I just realized I have to go.
Okay.
I have to be at work in 10 minutes.
Somewhere out of the house?
Yes.
Oh,
Isn't that funny?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this
Yeah,
information
sorry.
later. No problem at all. I didn't realize that. Otherwise, I
I
would have.
just looked at my clock and I went, oh, you have to get ready for work.
Oh, okay.
I work at a chiropractor a few days a week. So,
Oh, God. I'll let you.
yeah.
Well, thank you for being on.
Oh, Cathy, thank you so much.
It's been a real pleasure, and
I'm
let's
sorry
stay in
to
touch.
end it so quickly, but it's really, I'm so appreciative of you jumping in and letting me be on your fun show.
Well, it's great. I'm sure a lot of people are going to go buy your record.
On
Thank,
Bandcamp.
thank you so much, and yeah, have a good day at work, and that's it.
Mwah. Thank you.
All right, and you can leave, and I'll stay on and just talk a little bit to the audience.
Okay, cool. I'm leaving now.
Bye. She's very cute, right? Well, you could click leave the meeting.
Oh, yeah, you want me to do that?
You don't have to, but you can.
Yeah, they want me to just. Sorry, I'm back now. Leave. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, come on.
Oh my God. She has a very good humor, huh? Anyway, some of you guys have heard this before. I just wanted to finish this little story. So, the one thing that she said, well, what I was saying was she said she kept writing, and at first she would be very excited about writing, and then shortly after that, like the next day or two, she would get despondent about her writing. But because she had committed to writing every day, the next day she went back to writing, and she would pull through the despondency. And so she knew from that, she learned every time she started a project, she'd be high on it and then she'd be down on it for a minute and then pick up. The other thing that I got from that book that was really good was she said, curiosity is actually creativity. And when you start a project, that's why I had brought that up with Marylynn. When you start something, then you're curious almost immediately, you know. So anyway, that's all. So I'd like to wish my stepdaughter and son-in-law a happy anniversary today. It's been 18 years, which is hard to believe. And then tomorrow we're having on Sydney Jacobs. Sydney is a LA singer who joined the Fifth Dimension a few years back. And recently he's come out with his new record, and which he has a really cool music video for. He writes. He's a great singer, and he's very charming, and he's a really nice person. So he's going to be on tomorrow. And so the other thing is, if you're in Los Angeles, and on Sunday, I have a gig, July 31st, at the Urban Press Winery, which is in Burbank, Glendale area. And it's with Mitchell Long on guitar, who's like incredible. John Leftwich on bass, also incredible. And Danilo Amuedo on drums, also incredible. It's a really beautiful band. Not only great players, but just joyous and, you know, really having fun playing. You know what I mean? So come on out, 2 to 5. No cover charge. There's like a minimum, but no cover charge. So that's it. After Wednesday, Thursday through Sunday, I put on my archives, which includes Deborah Pearl, who's a playwright, and Diane Shore, who you all know who Diane Shore is, the great pianist, singer, award-winning, long time. Kendra Shank, who's a very popular jazz singer from New York. Victor Orlando, who's a percussionist here who's played with a lot of the funk groups, the old funk groups, and he keeps going. He keeps putting out music. Next week, just as a mention for the live people, Marty Jabara, pianist who used to live in LA, who has lived in Germany for a long time and plays a lot and been musical directors and everything. And Artyom Manukian, who in LA was really one of the cellist players who everybody hired because he loves to rock out and jazz out and stuff. He's a great player. He actually moved back home, and so this is going to be a Zoom call. I mean, well, they're all Zoom calls. And then Ron Peters, who's a guitar player from Seattle, who actually, when I was in college, he was my boyfriend, and we moved out here to the West Coast together and lived in San Francisco and Palmdale and LA. And he lives in Seattle. He's been living there for a long time. That's about it. Anything else I have to tell you? My book is still out on the marketplace, The Act of Becoming. Tiny little, see how thin it is? Tiny little philosophy book about how our point of view in one area of our life applies absolutely to other areas of your life. This is my latest CD. Cathy Segal-Garcia and Philip Strange live in Japan. And I could actually probably play something from that. Let's see if I have it in my... Oh, I don't know if I... Did I? Okay. Yeah, I did. Let's see. Well... All right, I'm just going to do some stuff here. I'm still on, and this is one of the cuts from my Live in Japan. This record was from 1992. It's a duo.
More than you know.
A duo CD. And with Phil Strange, who lives in Japan. He and I traveled a lot together.
I love you so. Lately I find that you're on my mind more than you know. Whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong, man of my heart, I'll string along. I need you so, more than you'll ever know. Loving you the way that I do, there's nothing I can do about it. Loving may be all you can give, but honey, I can't live without it. Oh, how I'd cry, oh, how I'd cry if you got tired and said goodbye. More than you know, more than you'll ever know.
There you go. Little taste of my latest record. All right. Thanks very much for being here, you guys. See you tomorrow. Have a great day or evening or whatever.